Hi everyone, John Cottrell here of MBODY Yoga, and this is a part 1 video of how to get into headstand or Sirsasana. Headstand, Sirsasana. So in Sanskrit, Sirsha means head. So this is a headstand demonstration. So I'm going to show you a breakdown of how you can start working towards getting into this posture. Now in this video we're going to focus on two things. One will be downward facing dog, which is considered an inverted posture, but also gets the upper body ready for an upside down position like a headstand. Then we're going to work on our arms, because when we get into this headstand position, we're going to be working on our arms. We want to make sure we're rooting down strongly enough and so that we can feel the energy rise upward all the way through the spine, through the legs and toes as we get into the pose. So again, we're going to be working on two positions. One is a yoga posture, and that's downward facing dog, and the other is just a demonstration of how you can start working through the strength of your arms to help prepare you for your practice. First, before we get into that demonstration, let me just show you Sirsasana, headstand. So that's the pose that we're working towards, our headstand. But let's break it down. So first of all, we want to get into downward facing dog. So downward facing dog, we want to spread our fingers pretty wide here so we create a strong base. We just place the hands down onto the mat, maybe shoulder distance apart, maybe just slightly wider than shoulder distance apart. We want to make sure we're pressing strongly down into the ground so the arms are very straight and strong here. So I'm on my hands and knees, I have my toes tucked, and with an exhale, drawing navel to spine, engaging my core power, so I can then lift knees up into the air, lifting the hips. So this is downward facing dog, so a very common posture. But what you'll notice is that I'm keeping the hands pressing strongly into the ground, arms are straight and strong. There's even an energy of the inner arm squeezing in towards each other. Another dynamic here is keeping that core connection or the abdominal lock, which is the exhale, drawing belly button towards spine, so it keeps the whole torso strong. You can notice there's a slight bend in the knees here. And when I do that, it keeps the hips pretty mobile so I can continue this nice full lengthening of the spine. And that's what we really want. You can see I've kind of drawn a straight line from my hands through my arms, shoulders, torso, right up to the hips. Let's rest. So that's downward facing dog. Again, it's an inverted posture, just like headstand is an upside down or inverted posture in yoga. Now our next thing, we're going to work on that strength. Now we already started doing that with hands pressing strongly into the ground, straight, strong arms. We want to keep that energy as we move into Sirsasana. So in my demonstration, you notice that I was doing it on my forearms, and that's more of a classical way of doing it in yoga. And so we're going to practice that same bearing down or rooted sensation with this arm posture. So you can just go ahead and fold your fingers and even just kind of squeeze tightly here with the fingers. And we're creating kind of this triangle shape with the arms. Now what we'll do, we're actually going to come up against this door. So you can just find a door or a wall. You're just going to place your triangle arms on the wall and then create kind of this lunge sensation like this, as if you're going to push the wall down. And that's that rooted bearing down sensation. So like this. So if I was just here relaxed and trying to push, you don't want this kind of sensation. You can see how my back is pretty collapsed here. We certainly don't want this in our back bend, in our headstand position. So we want to push the door or wall away. And you can see I'm kind of broadening the back. I'm almost rounding it slightly. So I have this nice rounded sensation in the back. As I press into the wall, I can feel my arms and shoulders and biceps all engage. And I'm pressing. This is a good practice because we'll be doing the same sensation by pressing the arms down into the ground. Again, we don't want to feel this collapsed, relaxed feeling. We want to push to broaden the back. Another dynamic here, just as we did in downward facing dog, is we're engaging the belly. So with an exhale, we want to pull belly button in towards spine, so we feel very strongly. So again, as we press into the wall, we're also exhaling so we engage our core center. So those are the main things that we'll be working on as we step forward into Sirsasana. So I'd like for you to practice those two things so you feel very steady and strong in your downward facing dog, that first inverted position, and then work on upper body strength by creating the triangle shape with your arms, pressing into the wall or a door, broadening the back and engaging your core system. One of the main things that will be why we're doing that is that when we're upside down in the headstand, we don't want to sink onto the tops of our heads. We don't want to collapse into the neck or spine area. We'll talk a little bit more about that in the second video. So for now, go ahead and practice those two things. Again, my name is John. Thank you so much for joining me. See you next time.